The HOA president literally tried to steal my lake 3 days after I moved in. Turns out she didn't know I owned the docks her entire neighborhood depends on. Picture this. I'm standing in my late uncle's cabin, still smelling like funeral flowers and old pine, when this pearl-white Escalade comes crunching up my gravel driveway. Out steps this woman in a tennis outfit at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, clutching a folder like it's the Holy Grail. "I'm Belinda Crankshaw, HOA president," she announces, shoving papers into my hands. "This lake is community property. You need to sign over marina operations immediately." The papers felt crisp and official, but something about her desperate eyes told me she was bluffing. What I didn't know yet was that she was sitting on a financial time bomb, and I was the only one who could defuse it, or blow up her entire scheme. What would you do if someone tried to steal your inheritance right after a funeral? Drop a comment about your worst HOA nightmare, and tell me where you're watching from. Let me back up and tell you how I ended up in this war. 6 months ago, I was Marcus Trenton, 45, divorced electrician from Detroit, living in a studio apartment that smelled like instant ramen and regret. My ex-wife got the house, I got the legal bills, and my future looked about as bright as a blown fuse. Then, Great Uncle Silas died and changed everything. Uncle Silas was the family hermit, 40 years alone on this incredible lake property in Michigan, barely spoke to anyone, kept detailed journals about everything. The funeral was tiny, just me and a few weathered neighbors who whispered stories about him keeping the vultures away. The lawyer's office reeked of old coffee and desperation when he slid the inheritance papers across his desk. 2 acres of prime waterfront, Mr. Trenton. The cabin needs work, but you own 400 feet of Lake Winnebago shoreline, including all underwater rights and that 8-slip marina your uncle operated. I had no clue what underwater rights meant, but those boat slips were renting for $200 each per month. Do the math. That's $1,600 monthly income I'd just inherited. The property was stunning. Pine trees towering over a 1960s cabin with good bones, crystal clear water lapping against professionally built docks. The smell of fresh lake air mixed with sawdust from Uncle Silas's workshop still lingered everywhere. This place could be my fresh start. Then Belinda Crankshaw introduced herself. 3 days after the funeral, 3 days, I'm measuring for new windows when gravel explodes under the tires of a pearl-white Escalade. Out steps this woman radiating entitlement like heat off asphalt. Tennis outfit at 10 a.m., designer sunglasses, fake smile that could cut glass. "Belinda Crankshaw, HOA president," she announces, marching toward my door with 2 nervous board members trailing behind. "We need to discuss your situation." The way she said situation made my teeth clench. She shoves this official folder at me. Inside, legal papers claiming lake access is grandfathered community easement and demanding I sign marina operations over to the HOA for $1 annually. "This is how Lakeshore Estates operates," she explains like I'm mentally deficient. "We maintain standards, protect property values. We simply cannot allow inappropriate commercial operations disrupting our family community." Her voice dripped with coded language that made my skin crawl. The message was clear. People like you don't belong here. 48 hours, she continues, adjusting her sunglasses like a weapon. "Sign willingly or we'll destroy you in court. Ask the Hendersons how that worked out. Oh, wait, you can't. They sold and moved away after we made their lives hell." The threat hung in the air thick as humidity. That night, surrounded by Uncle Silas's musty papers and the sound of water gently slapping the dock, I dove into his journals. What I found made my blood boil. Page after page documenting Belinda's systematic harassment campaigns. The Kowalski family, forced out after 18 months of frivolous lawsuits. The young Martinez couple, driven away by constant violation letters and intimidation. But one journal entry stopped me cold. Belinda thinks she's smart, but she doesn't know about the 1999 county easement agreement. $12,000 annual fee required for lake access rights. Haven't seen a payment in years. Whoever inherits this place, that's your nuclear option. Nuclear option? My hands shook as I searched for more details. Another entry. "The marina sits on my underwater property. Every boat slip, every dock post, every chain and cleat, mine by deed. Let the vultures come. The next owner will have all the ammunition they need." I sat back in Uncle Silas's creaky chair, tasting the bitter coffee I'd been nursing for hours. This wasn't just about property rights. This was about a systematic bully who'd been terrorizing lakefront owners for years, stealing their homes through legal warfare and intimidation. She'd picked the wrong target this time. The musty basement held more secrets, and something told me Uncle Silas had left me everything I needed to turn the tables on Queen Belinda and her little kingdom. Time to go hunting. Belinda didn't waste time declaring war. She brought the entire county with her. The morning after her ultimatum expired, I'm making coffee when 3 vehicles roll up my driveway like an invasion force. County inspection truck, sheriff's deputy, and Belinda's pearl-white Escalade bringing up the rear. The smell of diesel exhaust mixed with my fresh ground coffee as I watched this circus unfold. Mr. Trenton, Dave Morrison, county inspector. Multiple complaints about illegal commercial operations, environmental violations, and unpermitted structures. Behind him, Belinda stood wearing that tennis outfit like armor, practically bouncing with excitement. The deputy looked bored, but he was there to make sure I cooperated fully with the investigation. "I'm sure this is just paperwork confusion," Belinda called out sweetly. "Once Mr. Trenton understands community standards, I'm confident he'll make appropriate arrangements." But here's the thing about working construction for 20 years. You recognize intimidation tactics and you learn to document everything. "Ma'am, I need to conduct this inspection without interference," Dave told Belinda firmly. "County policy." Her smile froze like ice on a windshield. "Of course. I'll wait in my vehicle." The moment she was out of earshot, Dave's demeanor completely changed. "Your Uncle Silas was good people," he whispered. "This lady's been filing complaints against you for 3 weeks, before you even moved in. That tell you something?" 3 weeks. I'd inherited the property 4 weeks ago. Dave examined everything with professional thoroughness while I pulled out my phone and started recording. Every dock post, every electrical connection, every permit Uncle Silas had meticulously maintained. 0 violations. The sound of his clipboard pages flipping mixed with Belinda's engine idling impatiently. "Listen," Dave said quietly as we walked the shoreline. "I've seen this exact pattern twice before. Constant harassment, frivolous complaints, then suddenly the property gets sold dirt cheap. Both times, guess who bought it through shell companies?" The pieces clicked together like a perfectly wired circuit. That evening, I didn't just read Uncle Silas's files. I photographed every single page. The basement filing cabinet smelled like mothballs and righteous anger, but what I found was a masterclass in documentation. The 1952 original deed was unambiguous. All riparian rights extending to lake centerline, including lake bottom and all structures built thereon. Uncle Silas had underlined this section in red ink, with a note scrawled in the margin. Most people don't know waterfront property typically includes the lake bottom